But just before we go to sports, the Central Bank of Nigeria has banned the importation of all foreign currencies except with its approval. This was contained in a statement signed by CBN Director of Corporate Communications, Mr. Ugu Okorafor, today in Abuja. It said that the move was sequel to the bank's withdrawal of the operating licenses of 20 bureaux de change. Banks are no longer allowed to bring in foreign currency. However, if they are to bring it in, they are to seek the approval from the CBN. Now, this is part of efforts to stem the tide of money laundering in the country. Again, just to say that the Central Bank of Nigeria has banned the importation of all foreign currencies except with its approval. The implication of this is that banks are no longer allowed to bring in foreign currency. However, if they are to bring it in, they are to seek the approval from the CBN.
Guinness, made of more.
All right, we move on to sports news now. Here's Ayotunde Balogun.
That's right. Well, the League Management Committee, the LMC, has moved the game between El Kanemi Warriors and Dolphins by 24 hours after the visiting team expressed concerns about their safety. The Dolphins have been apprehensive following the recent killings by the terrorist group Boko Haram. The general manager of the Port Harcourt-based team said the players and officials in the travelling party are also at ease and have accepted the decision of the LMC. In the UEFA Champions League, Russian side Zenit St. Petersburg were held to a goalless draw by Austria Vienna. Ajax Amsterdam were held to a 1-1 draw at home against seven-time champions AC Milan. The Gunners' fine run of form continued as Arsenal defeated Italian giants Napoli 2-0 at the Emirates Stadium, with goals from German international Mesut Ozil and the Frenchman Olivier Giroud in the early minutes of the first half. Spanish giants Barcelona pipped Celtic, the Scottish side, by a lone goal, which was scored by Spanish midfielder Cesc Fabregas. The Blues Chelsea trounced Romanian side Steaua Bucharest 4-0 away. Atletico Madrid saw off perhaps the biggest threat of the day with a 2-0 or 2-1 defeat rather of FC Porto, the Portuguese side. Cape Verde have lost their appeal against being kicked out of the African playoffs for the 2014 World Cup for fielding an ineligible player. Now, football's governing body FIFA rejected the appeal at a hearing on September the 23rd and informed the Cape Verde Federation today, Tuesday. Well, the Blue Sharks, who beat Tunisia 2-0 to finish top of African Group B, forfeited the match after FIFA ruled the defender Fernando Varela shouldn't have played. Tunisia is due to face Cameroon over 2 legs in October and were awarded a 3-0 win, which puts them top of the group and into the playoff round in Cape Verde's place. Ghana have handed goalkeeper Richard Kingston a surprise recall in their 25-man squad to face Egypt in the side's 2014 World Cup qualifying playoffs. The 35-year-old returns after a 2-year absence and is joined by Suli Montari, Jordan Ayew and Jerry Akaminko for the October the 15th first leg game. Coach Kwesi Appiah has opted for experience as he aims to make the most of home advantage in Kumasi. The second leg of the tie will be played on November the 19th in Cairo, with the winners booking their place at next year's tournament in Brazil. That's it in sports news. The news at 10 continues shortly.
Guinness, made of more.
We move on to the foreign scene now, where U.S. President Barack Obama has blasted Congress, asking them, especially Republicans, to do their job. During a press briefing at the White House today, President Obama said he would not back down on Obamacare, saying all Americans are tired of the standoff between Congress and the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, a shutdown of government has begun. Our correspondent Temi Tokwe Fagbemi tells us more.
The U.S. government has begun a partial shutdown, its first in 17 years, after the two houses of Congress failed to agree on a new budget. More than 700,000 federal employees face unpaid leave with no guarantee of back pay once the deadlock is over. In Asia, a team of international disarmament experts have arrived in Damascus to begin work on dismantling the country's chemical weapons arsenal. Syria says it will cooperate with a mission set up after a U.S.-Russia deal endorsed by the UN Security Council. On the African continent, Kenya is united in mourning. Top Christian, Hindu and Muslim clerics in the country have held a multi-faith prayer service for the victims of the Westgate Mall attack. President Uhuru Kenyatta, his deputy William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga attended the prayers. Finally, the International Criminal Court has made public an arrest warrant issued for Ivorian ex-minister Charles Blair Godet over war crimes allegations. He's wanted by the ICC for alleged crimes against humanity during violence which erupted following disputed elections in Côte d'Ivoire in 2010. And those are the top stories making the rounds on the foreign scene.
Thank you, Temi Tokwe. And the main news again. The President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, has addressed the nation and he set up a 13-man advisory committee to work out modalities for a national conference. The members of that committee include Dr. Femi Okumu as chairman, Dr. Akilu Ndabama as secretary, and 11 others. And the State of the Nation has dominated talks at the 11th edition of the platform here in Lagos. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for staying with us. Do enjoy the rest of your holiday. That's what's left of it. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Good night.